All right, so as you can tell by the title, today I want to talk a little bit about defeat and dealing with defeat. So I mean this in the most broad sense of the word, kind of, and I would equate it to just like feeling defeated, whether or not that's because you didn't get a promotion that you wanted, or you lost your job, or a relationship ended, or your car is in the shop because something's wrong with the engine, or you didn't hit whatever goal you might have, whatever the thing is, whatever reason it is that you're feeling defeated in the moment, and kind of how to deal with that and move forward. I think moving forward is what I'm going to focus on the most, because that's, I think, the most important thing. This is all going to be kind of non necessarily chronological, and like I don't have a step by step, do X, Y, and Z in this particular order, and you'll be good and it'll be fine kind of thing, but just a general feeling of, hey, these are things to maybe keep in mind that might be helpful when you do find yourself in these situations. So I recently had a pretty unfortunate obstacle, whatever you want to call it, defeat that happened a few weeks ago. I missed uploading for 2 weeks, which is because of that. And I definitely didn't want to miss uploading. I have said in previous videos that I wanted to get a video up. I wanted 52 videos up this year, one for every week, and I did not do that. I have not uploaded in February yet. This will be my first upload in February. This is actually my second take of this video. I recorded another one that was much more raw, kind of down on myself, kind of. Recording it helped me, I think, in my mindset at the time, but I wanted to give myself a little bit more time to kind of sit with it and think, and then come back and now I'm here again. But that kind of goes into the first thing that I want to talk about when dealing with whatever defeat it is that you're facing, and that's to give yourself time to process it, and, for lack of a better word, grieve with it. It's okay to feel shitty about things sometimes. There's just stuff that's going to happen. I was scrolling YouTube the YouTube comments the other day, which is not the best use of time generally, but sometimes you'll find some gems in there. And one of the comments mentioned this thing called the Picard principle, which I'm going to butcher the quote because I have not seen Star Trek, but it essentially was saying that sometimes you can you can make every right move and still lose. And that's not to say that obviously you did anything wrong, but that's just to say that shit happens sometimes and there's nothing you could have done about it. And it sucks, but it's okay to feel bad about that and let yourself kind of go through that and process that. And it's important to not let that feeling of feeling bad completely overtake you and overwrite everything, and to just live and wallow in that. You don't want to do that, but you do want to avoid forcing yourself through that without processing it all, if that makes sense. It is important to kind of take time and, feel that, let those emotions work themselves out a little bit. Still, you do have to push yourself forward a little bit, but that doesn't mean you just ignore feeling bad at all, because it's fine to feel not great if a not great thing happens. That's totally okay. With that said, it's also important to not immediately, but assess the situation from a couple angles. One, could you have done anything differently to prevent, avoid, mitigate, fix, whatever, the thing from happening, the defeat from happening? If yes, think about that and use that and improve and apply that in the future, so that you hopefully are not having the same thing happen again, right? Make improvements and move forward with those improvements in mind. If you couldn't do anything about that, well, we're back to the Picard principle. There's nothing that you could have done. Some things are just out of your control. That's annoying, but it's not your fault if it's something that you couldn't do anything about, and don't beat yourself up about that too much, right? And so once you've kind of done that and you've thought about it in those terms, the next thing is okay, assess what you can do now. What can you do now to focus on to, again, move forward? Do the things in your day that, one, you have to do. For instance, right now, like I, have the daily things that I need to do to make sure that I can continue living my day to day in the way that, I have bills paid and a roof and all of that annoying, but, good stuff. Do that, and then think about the things that you can do that are beneficial for you and positive for you. And also try to weed out the things and maybe habits that you have that are not good for you. And that takes some self-reflection and being honest with yourself. And that's another huge thing that you'll have to do, is you have to be really honest with yourself, which can be uncomfortable. And it's like, the habits that you have or the things that you might do that are not really helping you get to whatever goal or whatever thing you might want to do. And you have to be genuine with yourself and try to, make efforts to not do those things that aren't helpful, and to really put your energy and time and focus onto the things that you do feel good whenever you do them. Like if you enjoy going to the gym, maybe you don't feel like it, but you know that you always feel better after you do it. Or maybe you're trying to read more. You're trying to read, 5, 10, 20, however many pages of a book, or just read more in general. And, it might take a little bit more effort to do that, and it's easier to like not do that and doom scroll for a few minutes. But you know that you always feel better if you have been reading for the day. Like make the effort to do that thing. And so it's really focusing on those things that you can do in the day that will improve your mindset and your situation and things like that. And really, taking charge and doing those things. So yeah, I mean, it's tough. Defeat is not a fun thing to deal with, obviously. And there are going to be situations where it's going to happen, and it's going to be a bummer. But you have to acknowledge whether or not you could have done anything, make the improvements that you can, and move forward. You can't just sit in it forever. Let yourself feel it, but still be conscious of the improvements that you can make. Be conscious of the things that you can do on a day-to-day basis to keep your mental attitude positive and moving in a more positive direction. Think about the things that you want to do, that you want to work on. And I say work in the like self-improvement kind of way, the like getting things done kind of way, but I also would consider like taking time to watch a TV show, or if you read for fun, read a book for fun, or play a game, or whatever it is, because those are also important things. You can't just be working on stuff all of the time. You do need downtime as well to be healthy, because then if you're just working on something 24/7, and if you're in the mindset like, oh, well, this defeat happened because I wasn't doing X, Y, and Z enough, I need to just be doing X, Y, and Z constantly, that also will just burn you out, and you won't want to do it ever, because you'll just feel tired of it and you won't have any recharge time. And so it is also important to recognize when you need to kind of stop working. Knowing when to stop working is also an important thing. It's this weird balance of like, yeah, you are going to have to put in the work and put in the effort, probably more than you would necessarily want to, because like who doesn't want to be able to spend an entire day, just watching shows or playing games or not doing work type stuff. But that's not healthy either. And so it's a weird balance, and it's about finding that balance. And again, this is going to be different for everyone. And it takes being really genuine with yourself and reflecting and knowing kind of like what kind of personality you are. It also depends on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. But it's about reflecting on that, figuring that out, trying to get to that balance, knowing if you're doing the things that are going to be positive for you and moving you in that positive direction. But yeah, I don't know if any of this made any sense. I hope it did. I hope it was somewhat helpful. I feel like if I keep going from this point, I'll just be rambling in circles a little bit. But yeah, I mean, defeat sucks. Like, it's going to happen, and it's going to be tough to deal with, but you can deal with it. There are ways, I think, to take that, grow from it, move forward, and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, you've got this. Just do what you can. Try not to let the things that you can't control get to you too much. And yeah, I guess that's it for me this time. I think my next video will probably be about how to read more. I recorded a video about this a few weeks ago, but that was before my defeat that happened recently. And I went back to edit the video, and it just felt really kind of not genuine because of what had happened since I recorded it. So I'm gonna go back, re-record that video. I'll maybe do a double upload this week. I don't know if I want to hold myself to that, but it'll at least probably be my next upload will be some little tips about how to read more. Spoiler alert, there's no easy solution there. You just got to buckle down and do it. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about that more at length in the next video. Again, that is all from me this time. I will see you in the next one. Be nice, be kind, and learn stuff.